Welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go ahead and take a look at Zbec here. I was just scrolling on my X and I saw, a few people saying that the Zbec price actually looks very much weak. And I logged in onto the chart and I'm seeing a totally different story altogether. I don't necessarily think that the chart is weak, but I just think that, we're waiting for, something to kick in the market, and then we're going to be seeing the continuation of this fifth wave that we have been talking about for, I think, maybe 2 weeks right now, meaning that we are anticipating to go ahead and set a new all-time high compared to the one that we were setting back then in June right here. So let me show you what's what here, at least what my opinion is on this price set, because I think up until this point we haven't gotten much wrong here on Zbec, the chart, for one reason or the other. So we're looking to complete the fifth wave right there. But one thing that we have been taking a look at, and it's very simple honestly, is the RSI on Zbec. I mean, take a look at the moment here when we're saying that the fifth wave is about to begin and the price was pumping like 60%. We just looked at the RSI on the daily time frame and we were realizing that, look, this historically is an area in which the price is actually found support and started pushing towards the upside. So great, it worked right then. Even when we were looking at the first entry here on Zbec, right around like $70 million in terms of its market cap, we were also referring to the RSI, which was pretty much resembling what it has done in the past. So if history is going to be any indication of what the future holds here for Zbec, I think that the RSI plays an important role. Over the last few days, I have actually been saying that, look, yes, we may have had this bounce here for Zbec on the RSI, but it hasn't been in the past that you just start pushing towards the upside without any stoppages or anything like that. Zbec, for one reason or the other, right around this 50 mark on that daily RSI, it just happens to have a little bit of traffic there. I think you can just see it throughout its existence. This is what it has done. So it's not surprising at all for me. I actually was mentioning this in my last 2 or 3 maybe updates on Zbec, that look, we've gotten to a point around the 50 mark where in the past there just happens to be a little bit of a traffic, like some kind of rejections or whatever the case may be. But I think it's not something that we should really put too much importance on. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I wasn't expecting the price to just continue pushing straight up, right? I was expecting the price to kind of also cool off a little bit, just as the RSI does around this area. But as you can see, once we start really pushing above that 50 mark, this thing usually goes vertical, as you can see in this moment as well, and the other moments. I was looking at it the other day, and the lowest or the least pump that I saw was right around the 50%. Now obviously in crypto, 50% may not mean much because we are spoiled. We see 100%, we see 200 percentage points each and every single time. But in this situation, I'm looking at it and say, once we start clearing those 50 RSIs on a daily basis, yeah, this is the moment we're going to be seeing the price really start to whip towards the upside. On the other hand, obviously we are referring to the Bitcoin price, and I was talking to Patreon members, I think over the weekend as well. We saw the Bitcoin price reaching a new all-time high of as high as something like $123,000. That's great, obviously. However, the more likely thing to do is to come back a little bit, back test the previous all-time high, and then use that as a baseline and a launch pad to start really pushing one more time towards the upside. I don't believe there is much left in Bitcoin, because I'm looking at it, for example, the price target for this cup and handle formation is right around $150,000. Yeah, that's okay to say the number is a big number. However, it's only like a 49% from right around, this level here of around maybe $112,000 or something like that. So that's not much. However, in this situation, I'll be expecting everybody on planet Earth to be talking about cryptocurrencies once again, because it's such a huge number that people are going to be coming in. And what are they going to be learning? They're going to be learning that there is also something called Zbec, right? Because of things like XRP, for example. But whatever the case may be here, I'm just anticipating Zbec to continue going higher, whether the Bitcoin price here has a pullback, which normally or logically speaking, I would think that also slows down Zbec for a moment, just as the RSI here is suggesting. We have also seen something like that in the past year. So that's that right there. But eventually, I think the end goal is obvious for everybody. So for me, I'm not going to be, going in and out of Zbec just because of a potential pullback here for Bitcoin. However, I'm just looking at it and saying, okay, psychologically speaking, I need to prepare for a moment like this to know that, okay, Zbec is actually not weak, but we're just maybe waiting for a back test here for the Bitcoin price. And then when the rest of the market starts going, we're going to be catching up and completing what was already in motion before. So that's the reason for this analysis. Other than that, we're not going to be, buying in and out. I mean, it's too risky, right? You can't risk that maybe 6x that I'm talking about here on Zbec, which, to be honest with you, very low price. I think I'm good with a 10x, but so I think you have understood what's what right there. Before I go, let me show you this amazing activity that our partners over there at Bank, the exchange, are doing. Up to 30% cashback if you go ahead, deposit and trade on their exchange. I've actually put a link in the description to register if you don't have an account, and also the link for this specific activity. This one is going to be lasting only 2 days from now, so go ahead and claim your money right there. There is a guaranteed 150 USDT which you can use to trade and stuff like that, but the 30% cashback, go ahead and take a look at the rules and understand what's what right there. Again, the link is going to be there in the description. Other than that, if you're interested in trading, short-term trading, we're talking about futures and stuff like that, and probably you don't know much about it, you can go ahead and just copy my trades if you wish, right? I'm not forcing anybody to do this. I opened this account here on Wix, and it's open for everybody to see what's going on right there. And if you like what you see, you can go ahead and copy the trades. I think in the last 3 weeks or so, we've got a win rate of right around 80% and a profit, a very small profit actually, of $1,000. But I think in the next few weeks we're going to be raising this one to 20,000, maybe even 40,000 as we continue. So we're going to trade together and see what's up right there. It's free. All you have to do is just create a Wix account already. If you don't have one, there is also a link in the description with my ref code, and you can claim up to 30,000 USDT bonus as a welcome bonus. So I think Wix is also a great one as an alternative to Bank as well. So I think that's good right there. Very much understood. The link for the copy trading is also in the description. Check it out. And with that being said, I want to thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and I'll see you on the next one. Take good care of yourselves. Bye bye.